Right, everybody, welcome to the next round of our GT3 series taking place at the Red Bull Ring this week. Couple of things to go over in the briefing after I go through the normal qualifying conduct stuff. Obviously, we're quite a few races in now. I think everybody knows general rules. There's a couple of things to note after the qualifying, but shouldn't be too long today. In qualifying, I just want to know, I know we've got a lot of teams out there driving with us, so there will be some elements of looking for toes and stuff, especially with the long straights we've got here and the very small number of corners. So I just want to remind people, if you are trying to set up a tow with a teammate, you can't be stopping on track, especially on pit lane exit, to try and set this up with a teammate, time it properly. You're allowed to obviously be slow if you're offline, that's fine, but just need everybody to be sensible with that kind of thing. Make sure they're not getting in anybody's way when they are trying to line it up with a teammate. Obviously, we've got half an hour of qualifying. Not the biggest grid it's looking like at the moment. Today we are working on seeing who's not been attending and asking them if they are actually still participating in the series, or if we can cycle in some new guys who want to get in. So that should be sorted as soon as possible. We're hoping to get a few more guys in, but there's not many people out on track, so we've got plenty of room to work with, plenty of time to work with. So let's just all try and be sensible in terms of qualifying. The section I want to point out, this has been an issue when we've run other series around here. We've run plenty of races before the GT3 series around here, multiple in our F1 series as well. So the ones I want to point out is essentially the section between turn 5 and turn 8, because I think that could potentially be quite a big issue in qualifying. We need to be making sure we're not going too slow through those corners, especially the left-handers of turn 6 and 7 could potentially become an issue if we've got cars going slow in there, because there's not really much... there's not really anywhere you can go and be offline when you're in the corner. But obviously, if you want to duck out in between turn 6 and 7, pull off to the left. That would also apply to blue flagged cars. That's a place where you can let people by if you're not within that sort of range on the straights. Just thought I'd bring that one up as well. So you can let cars by between turn 6 and 7 if you've got blue flags. That's somewhere I'd recommend doing it if you can do it safely and pull off to the side. Turn 9 as well, that is pit lane entry, especially in the race. I think we're going to have people coming into pit lane when maybe other people aren't, and that could be a bit of an issue. So just want to remind drivers, you are allowed to use your radio to warn others that you're coming into the pit lane. I also might suggest mapping a pitting in button so that you can just alert people around you that you're going to be coming into the pit lane, and then that would mean that they're going to give you a little bit more room on pit lane entry. Just want to avoid any incidents that could occur there. Obviously, if there were incidents, we would look at them in a normal fashion, but I just want people to be aware that it is a sort of blind pit lane entry and very much on the racing line, so we just need to be cautious of that. Shouldn't really be an issue in qualifying, as most people will be resetting to pit lane. In terms of resetting to pit lane, that needs to be done offline, as we would usually expect. Pit lane exit, I'm not expecting to be an issue, apart from just making sure we're not stopped on pit lane exit. The other stuff I wanted to go over was, I'm sure we've all seen brake dragging being a sort of hot topic in iRacing, let's say, recently. Regarding that, I just really... all I can really do at this point, obviously it's quite a hard thing for us to manage as stewards. We can't see all of your inputs during the race, especially during qualifying. But my suggestion to everybody is that we're just really sensible. Obviously, if we see people weaving, holding the brakes at 30 miles an hour, going left and right at some sort of ridiculous level, then that would be penalised. It would probably just be that you'd be starting from the pit lane for the race, would be what you're asked to do. And if you didn't, then you would be given a drive-through. But obviously, there is some sort of level to which that is done in real life, where you might only drag, say, 10-15% of the brakes. But I'm really not expecting it to be an issue, and if it were to be happening and it was causing issues on track, then it would also be a penalty. But just want people to be wary. Obviously, to a realistic level, we can't really stop you and can't really manage you, but any excessive level, and I know excessive is a little bit difficult to manage, so that's why I'm asking everyone to just be sensible. We don't really have a way of actually saying, well, this is the limit of what you can do, and anything over that is a penalty and anything below that is acceptable. But we just want people to go out there, be sensible, drive in a respectful manner to the people around you as well, and just make sure that you're not getting in anybody's way and not doing anything ridiculous. Like I said, the 30-mile-an-hour kind of stuff with massive weaving and fully on the brakes. Obviously, that's difficult for us to manage. We can't see everything on track because that's not something that would come up to us as an issue. But if that were to be reported to us by another driver and we looked into it, that could also bring a penalty. So you just want people to be wary and be very, very, very sensible. The other thing that I just wanted to mention has been an issue both in this series and in F1 series recently, is essentially to do with blocking. So you need to make sure that you're not responding to the driver behind's move. So if the driver behind you pulls out to the left before the braking zone or pulls out to the right before the braking zone, you can't just, as soon as you see them move, dive to block them. Your defensive move has to be one, I would say, predictable, but also you can't react to the driver behind. It's got to be a defensive move that comes almost before that, or you can brake later, obviously, and stuff. But if you are to pull in front, there needs to be a big enough margin that there's no risk of contact. We wouldn't expect the driver behind to ever have to hit the brakes, especially, but also have to lift off a significant amount if they've come across onto you and they're enough to lift off to not instantly hit you. Obviously, if they're in your slipstream and they're going to run into the back of you, then that's not your fault. But just want people to be sensible in the manner that they're doing things. Especially just because we got these long straights here. Remember, if someone slipstreams past you in between turn 1 and turn 3, you're going to get right back past them into turn 3 and turn 4 if that is the power of the slipstream. I'm not expecting it to be that powerful here, but just want people to be just careful with that kind of thing. There were penalties issued last week. I know that was a bit of a discussion as to what happened. I would also say we don't want people to what I've sort of called long blocking in the past, although I think that's maybe not been made clear to drivers what that is. So just want to clarify that quickly before we go into the qualifying session. So that would be if you were to be in front of somebody on the straight, to sort of slowly move as they moved right, rather than you just sort of moving right, stopping and blocking them. It would be to block them the whole way down the straight, so as they continue to turn more right to make sure they weren't behind you anymore, for you to continually turn right and block them, which would eventually probably push them off the road because they won't be able to change their direction quickly enough to be towards the other side of the track. So just want a reminder for that. Also, the last thing for this track in particular was rejoins from the runoff area. So turn 1, obviously, lap 1, I am expecting some cars to go off wide, but that rejoin needs to be done in a sensible way, not coming back on into traffic. But similarly, if you push somebody off, you need to make sure there's room for them to come back on, because otherwise you're just sort of pushing them off a track, which isn't, of course, accepted. So just need people to make sure that they're careful on the rejoins, but also not abusing those track limits. If you push someone onto the runoff, especially turn 1 or turn 3, whilst they're not going onto grass or onto gravel, you are still pushing them outside of track limits, which would be seen as not leaving enough space for another driver, and then you could receive a penalty for that if you didn't leave enough space for another car. So that's all from me today. Hope if anyone's got any questions, as usual, drop them in the GT3 channel or in the race session while we're still in practice, and I'll get those answered. But yeah, apart from that, I'm going to hand you over to our commentary team now.
Good evening and welcome to the Anti-Stall Racing GT3 event live from the Red Bull Ring. I am James Parfitt and we will be shortly joined in the box by Kevin Wesley Burke. And on production this evening we got Wesley Wickens doing control of the cameras. Track length, guys, currently 4.28 kilometers of turns, straights, turns and more straights. It's a very interesting circuit, the Red Bull Ring in general, being that, as you can see, there is literally only 7 corners on this track, unless you're on a superbike. And then the rundown between turn 1 and turn 3, there is a corner in the middle, which they do class as a corner in a bike, but we don't class it as a corner in cars. So you've got turn 1, which is Niki Lauda, and then you've got the run up to Remus, which is technically it's actually turn 2, and then down into Schlossgold, which is turn 3. So there you go, guys. Now, obviously, tonight you've heard from the driver briefing the issues with brake dragging will hopefully try and be monitored as best as we possibly can. That situation has been going crazy in all of the forums, on all of social media all week. It's only just come to light. Apparently it's been around for a good couple of years. It's only just come to light recently. So there you go. But although it has been around for a while. Now, don't forget, guys, if you missed last week's race from Radio America, please go and check it out. You will see an epic battle between Michael Pletil and Alessandro Izzo. Finishing first and second, Izzo coming out on top in that one, and Marcus Schum finishing down in third. So there you go. What we do is bring in Mr. Kevin Wesley back. Kevin, welcome in.
Good evening, everyone.
How are you, young sir?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready for some good racing tonight. I want to see what the crack is. I want to see who's going to be pushing. As you know, I'm sticking with Paul Taylor, but Izzo and there's a couple of other drivers who interested me last week. We did some seriously good racing, so this is going to be a good one. Like you said, it's a quick, fast track and not many corners.
No, literally with about 7 corners on track, unless you're on a superbike and you'll have a bit more. But here in our GT3s, we are only got 7. Massimo Berta is in chat. Go Farah Simtech, where are you this week, sir? Anyway, why are you not here driving? Vamos, Portugal iRacing team, says Maius Ricardo. So let's see how they get on this evening. Now, obviously, we've got half an hour qualifying, guys, and then we do have an hour's race. But here are the current championship standings. Alessandro Izzo is on top with 333 points. Giordano Volcano in second on 272. Michael Pletil, after his amazing second place at Road America last week, on 256. Justin Classens was a disappointing 9th last week and unfortunately has put a dent in his championship hopes. He's now on 225 points. Paul Taylor there, the pick from Kevin Wesley Burke consistently every week, is on 218. Marcus Schum on 215. Thomas Sainton is on 209. Marco Ferrone on 182. Massimo Berta is on 180. Elias Stromer on 174. Jorge Gomez on 170. Akira Iwata, who's missed about 3 weeks in a row now, is still on 138. Lorenzo Banzanti is on 136. Marco Pinto on 136. He's tied with Sebastian Van Den as well for 14th and 15th. Miguel Cordero on 118. Eduardo Fava on 90. Jose Fonseca on 76. Joel Amos there on 66. And Diego Duarte on 60. So obviously we've got no Akira Iwata. We've got no Massimo Berta this week either. We've got no Volcano. So really, it is down to the likes of Michael Pletil to try and stop Alessandro Izzo. Justin Classens to try and stop Alessandro Izzo. And we're going to have to see how that one works out. We've got Marcus Schum has been putting in some stellar times in practice sessions that we've been keeping an eye on. So hopefully he may be there or thereabouts itself in general. Kev, Red Bull Ring is a funny old track. Because, you know, you can go wide in certain corners and get away with it. And then in a corner like that, as we've just seen Marcus Schum there, run slightly over the yellow sausage curb down on the entrance to turn 1, and he instantly knows that because Sainton did the same thing. You get off track. So it's a bit of a weird mix, isn't it? The Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, it is. I've raced it a few times. I enjoy it. Like you said, turn one is, if you get that right, you can go through that with some pace. Down to turn two. Turn two, you have to really brake hard. Bang it into. I usually go into first and then put my foot down, and then the rest of it is pretty straightforward. But yeah, it's a tricky track. Very quick as well. But turn one, very tricky. I should see most of the overtaking once turn one's gone down there, and then maybe around about turn two after there.
Yeah, I think turn one is one of them corners that you've really got to kind of hit the brakes, slow it down, point the car, and then kind of hit the accelerator again, because as you say, if you're slow, you're going to jeopardize your run up to turn two. But if you're too quick, you're going to have an off track. And as we see there, Leon Elowott go round and unfortunately get involved with Thomas Sainton. Wouldn't really say whose fault that was. Elowott was on his outlap, so that's possibly cold tyres going down into Schlossgold, which is a tricky off-camber turn two. And if you hit the turn three, sorry, and if you hit the accelerator too early, unfortunately your car is going round. Now, passing opportunities, Kev, we've got 3 long straights that should provide the best opportunity down into turn one, turn two, and turn three. This is kind of a racer's circuit. They've got the opportunity to make moves, haven't they, on this track? And, it's going to be a brave man to be starting to try and get it sent up really anywhere else. I think, as you say, the long straights will be the opportunities that the drivers will be looking for.
Yeah. On this track through 5 and 6, that's the part I actually really like the most. And I actually do most of my overtaking there, because when you put somebody under pressure and you're on the inside, they end up going off. So I do a lot of overtaking there.
That's the run down through Rint and Worth, or as you can see from the big golden power horse, as they call it, on the inside of the circuit with the ball up on its hind legs. It's not your most conventional overtaking position, but it depends on obviously other people's run out of Schlossgold, which is obviously the tricky turn three.
Yeah.
As we see Pletil there just decide to go round on track in the last corner. Now, clearly, outlaps are causing an issue. Cold tyres are causing an issue, because we've seen Leon Elowott go round there. We've just seen Michael Pletil go round. The drivers have got to bed in these tyres over the first couple of laps before they decide to push, I think.
Yeah, with the new tyre models and the tyres getting warmer, hotter, more quicker, we'd expect them to be staying on track, but it seems like they're not getting as warm as quick as they want. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying there.
Yeah, as we can see here from Marcus Schum, it's currently in second place on a 129.75. Alessandro Izzo has just gone on to pole on a 129.679. So it will be whoever can beat Alessandro Izzo will have the opportunity of taking the win. But as we've seen previously, the only time he's had a bad one, and he still finished in the top 3. It was a bad qualifying, and he still finished in the top 3. So, kind of Izzo is, it's just, I don't know, it's just a cut above. It just seems to be more in tune with his car than what seems to be the rest of the grid. And that's no detrimental comment to the rest of the grid. It's just unfortunate that Izzo is so quick, Kev.
Yeah, he's very quick, but so is Claessens, and I'm hoping that Claessens can do the same thing he did the week before last and put Izzo under pressure. That was a great battle between them both, and I'm hoping he can do the same thing again. It didn't happen last week, but maybe it can happen this week, so we're going to have to see what happens between them both.
Yeah, Pletil was the one putting Izzo under pressure, basically was in the lead, until Izzo made the move at Road America and then pulled out a 2.5 second gap over Michael Pletil to take the victory last week. As I say, guys, if you have not seen it, please go watch it back on the Anti-Stall Racing YouTube channel. Don't forget as well, guys, why we are here, let's give it a little plug. Subscribe, thumbs up, turn on the bells for notifications, guys, because if you've not got the bells on, You definitely won't be the first to know when we go live every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Now, next week, guys, let's have a quick chat about the F1 series that is at Monza. That is into race 7. The F3 and F4, the feeder series for the F1, that is also at Monza as well next Tuesday. Now, the following Friday is obviously round 8 of the GT3. That is Watkins Glen. Unfortunately, I will not be here for that one. This is my last week this week covering this series. So you'll have the delights probably of Wes and Kevin next week, rocking it out, bringing you all the action from Watkins Glen. So that will be absolutely a stellar job from them too, no doubt. Now, with about 20 minutes to go, we've got Izzo out on pole, Marcus Schum in second, Sainton in third. Your man, Kev, Paul Taylor is in 4th place currently.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all. He's gonna shock us tonight. He's gonna shock us. I was watching him in practice and he looked pretty good. So let's see if he can pull the cat out the bag and put his foot down and put in what we need to put him. Get up there. I mean, 4th place in qualies is pretty good, but can he push a bit higher up? But his own Strum and Sin out there putting in some good work there, good times, 29.6 and 29.7. So I don't know where Claessens is. Where is he?
He hasn't currently set a track. He hasn't set a time as of yet. I think he might be struggling on the bit in that Lambo with off tracks, as we know, is probably may have just picked up another one. But that's one of them corners we were talking about. The last corner you can run wide in, and you can take it quite wide. But if you go too far, you've got an off track. Now, you know,
29.7.
Yeah, he's just popped it in 3rd place, 29.75. Got away with that one on the last corner, no doubt. But then again, it's a difficult one because this one coming up into turn 1 with Izzo, if you go slightly wider than the yellow sausage cone, you get an off track. But round, obviously, as Izzo probably may have done there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but round here, round, you know, the inside of the infield at Worth, you can take a lot of this exit curb and not get an off track. You know, Paul Taylor gave it a generous, very generous wide berth there, but you can almost straight line that from the moment you turn and get away with it. And is that where the irregular, you know, the I was going to say irregularities with the off-track rule comes in, because it just doesn't seem consistent at a track where I can almost take 2 wheels on the curb in Worth, which is the in section, but then I just barely touch the sausage curb or go a little bit wide and I've got an off-track. It's just not. It's not the same, is it? There just seems different rules for different parts of the track, which seems a very bizarre one.
Yeah, very inconsistent on some parts and on some different tracks I've raced on as well. Some tracks you can take a big chunk of the curb, and some tracks you try that and then all of a sudden you're getting an off track and you're thinking, bloody hell, what's going on? But it's just one of them things, unfortunately. But main thing is if we can, well, most of us know whereabouts the off tracks are gonna be, but then sometimes due to changes, you know, you might get one. But it is what it is, I suppose, in that respect when it concerns racing.
Yeah, the off tracks is a very weird, bizarre rule for me within this sim, and it has before, you know, caused me to sit back and think, you know, how did you come up with that conclusion that was an off track? You know, especially Summit Point, for instance, in the MX-5, there's certain parts of the curb that you touch and you get an off track, but there's certain parts of the curb that you can take all of it and a bit more and get away with it. It's just a very inconsistent kind of ruling. It just seems a very bizarre thing that nobody's gone along, Kevin, literally just gone, right, well, there's the track. Anything outside a meter of the track boundaries, you're off. And just have that one band all the way around the circuit. It seems, I don't know, it seems a very bizarre, it's very inconsistent. I think that would be the word.
Yeah, it is very inconsistent, and I definitely agree with what you're saying there. But what can you do? It's just one of them things, unfortunately.
This is the thing, Kev. We're just 2 people out of a community of, you know, a few thousand almost, if not more now. But I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Kev, we're going to jump on the forum, start a petition. Off-track rule resolved, please, because it's too inconsistent with the current standards of the tracks. Now, obviously, Kev, there was a recent announcement that come out that maybe Magny-Cours is going to join the iRacing simulator. What's your thoughts on Magny-Cours? It's a different circuit in an F1 car, I've got to be honest.
Is that the French track?
France track, yeah.
Yeah. I was actually reading about that. I've never raced on it, or don't know much about it, but that'd be a good addition. A few of my friends turned around and said that it's a really good track, so it'd be a good addition.
Yeah, I think as well. Let us know if you are here in chat, guys, what you think about the Magny-Cours circuit joining iRacing. What cars you would like to see on it. I'm not quite sure if a little MX-5 running around Magny-Cours would work. I've got to be honest. I don't think it would. It more of GT3, P217 multi-class series, maybe F1. Not too sure on the others. Let me know what you think. If you're not speaking down in chat, or if you're watching it back, let us know in the comment section what you feel would be, what cars, I suppose, here we go. Let's put it this way. What cars would suit Magny-Cours circuit if it joins iRacing? Now, there is a report that it's coming. Not too sure when it's coming. Whether I'm probably going to guess at the end of each season, obviously when we get the new updates, that will be a part of the iRacing schedule. But just tell us what cars you think would be good on there. As I say, I've been around there in F1 2020. I don't know what number we're on now, the last one. But obviously as well, guys, different entity in a GT3 than in a Formula One sim. Kev, what do you think? You know, it's a very difficult circuit at times, this Magny-Cours anyway. I don't know. F1, F3, maybe F4, GT3, multi-class. Other than that, I can't see you running around in an MX-5 or a Radical.
No, they're not running around in an MX-5 or Radical, but I was just having a quick look, and it looks like I was just watching some GT3s on the track, and it looks quick. Very quick. So, as you know, I'm a GT3 fan with the Audi anyhow, so I'd be wanting GT3 with that track. So as soon as that comes out, if it's going to be introduced on the next big update, then I'll be ready for it.
Yeah,
I
can't see an MX-5 surrounding around Magny-Cours. I think at the end of the day, I don't know. It's not the most straightforward track. And I think at the end of the day, I definitely wouldn't want to see an MX-5 trying to whiz around that long circuit itself. You know, it'd be an interesting one, Kev, I think, if the Magny-Cours does join iRacing. But there you go, guys. We have got about just under 14 minutes remaining. Marcus Schulm has popped it on pole on a 129.55. Izzo in second on a 129.6. Classens are in third with a 129.7. Paul Taylor is under the 129, no, sorry, is under the 130s now on a 129.7, 129.98. I'll get my words out in a minute. As you can see, it is actually 977, but we round it up because, as we know, anything above 5 gets round up to the next 10, which, you know, becomes 98. So there you go. Anyway, that's my short, brief maths lesson in the middle of the broadcast there, Kev. So there you go. But at the end of the day, we are here for now at the Red Bull Ring. We're going to focus on the Red Bull Ring. You're going for Paul Taylor this week again?
all the way Paul Taylor for me. But my pick today is going to be Classens, Izzo, Dum, and Taylor in that order.
So Classens, Izzo, Schum, and Taylor.
Yeah, in that order.
So you're basically just taking the top 4 qualifying, Kev.
Just taking them.
Yeah. So what are you going to leave me with?
No, at the moment.
But you're not going to leave me anything.
If I'm just picking one, I'm going to go with a Classens win today. With a great battle with Izzo.
I tell you what, Taylor's not going to be happy, mate. That you moved away from Taylor. I tell you,
I'm not going to move away from Taylor.
Hold on. So what are you saying? Who's going to win? Right, this is your choice, Kev. Classens, Paul Taylor. That's it. No other picks. Who's going to win?
Like I'm gonna have to go with Paul Taylor then if that's the case. It is what it is. You know what I mean? He's flying the flag for Queen and Country. You know what I mean? So I'll go with Taylor for the win, but I've got my pick in my head who I think's gonna win today.
Yeah, we've just seen Thomas Saints on there go round the PIT team. I think that was probably Hugo Pereira, maybe Manuel Polanco was both spun in Worth and Roush in the in section. And Saints on going round. Absolutely incredible. There we go. That is car number 17. That is Pereira going round. And I believe there was another one of his teammates. And in a minute, there he is. The flying Thomas Sainton manages to get round them all cleanly there. So well done, Thomas. Absolutely stellar driving. Okay, so in my head, Kev.
Yep.
I think I'd love to see Sebastian van den Heuvel go for a victory, right, in the Porsche.
Yeah.
He's in that Lightning McQueen livery that I so love because it is just such a great movie. But unfortunately, he's currently sitting down in 7th. Now, my other choice would be Classens, but you've already stole him. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's a no-go. I want to say Schum, but I can see Izzo in second place, and that is the scariest thing. So, for now, I'm going to settle in. I'm going to go with... Oh, am I going to go with Schum? I'm going to go with Schum. I think Marcus Schum might have enough this week, whether or not that's psychological or mental over Izzo. He's currently faster than him. Don't get me wrong, it's by like 1,000th of a second, which is nothing practically. I don't know. Schum's looking tasty. He was fastest in practice, fastest currently at qualifying. You know, I'm going with Marcus Schum, Kev. That's where I'm going this week.
Right, cool. We'll have to see.
Yeah,
who's
don't let
right
me
between the four.
Yeah, don't let me down, dude, because otherwise, you know, I can't lose to Mr. Kevin Wesley Butler. That doesn't work for me. So don't let us know. Good day, blokes, says Biggles in YouTube chat. Welcome in, Biggles, sir. How are you? How is everything? We were just discussing well, basically, Biggles, we've had 2 discussions so far. The inconsistencies of the off-track at this wonderful circuit. And also we were discussing Magny-Cours coming to iRacing, which has recently been, whether it's been leaked or announced. There you go. Let us know what you think, Biggles. What cars would you like to see driving around Magny-Cours? We said maybe not an MX-5 or Radical, but possibly GT3 multi-class F1, F3, F4. So let us know if you are in chat, Biggles, what you would like to see at the famous Magny-Cours circuit in France there as well. We're coming in to the end. We've got 8.5 minutes left of qualifying. Now, everybody has set a time. We are a bit light on the grid this week. We're only down to 18 drivers this week. And Ivan Amaro is unfortunately at the back of the field currently on a 131.53. He is going to have to do some work to get his car up there, get a setup going. Unfortunately, Hugo Pereira is down there as well. Apart from Paul Taylor in the BMW, I was going to say there's 4 manufacturers in the top 4 there, Kev, so really nobody's dominating. It's not a dominated field, is it really? You know, we can't sit there and say the top 8 are by our Porsches. Biggles in chat, everything race around there. No, I don't know, Biggles. I don't know. I wouldn't want to see an MX-5 whizzing around Magny-Cours. But that's just me personally. You know what I mean? It would take a while to get around it. But then again, I suppose we do Norderschleife, which takes us 8.5 minutes. So there you go. No one manufactured coming out on top, Kev, this week at the moment.
No, there isn't. But from 8 downwards, the Beamers. There's a lot of Beamers in there. But yeah, there is no one manufacturer who's running from P1 right to P10. It's kind of, as you can see, Ferrari, Porsche, Lambo, Beamer, Porsche, Ferrari. So yeah, it's quite mixed.
Yeah, no, obviously the Beamers are really in a kind way of saying bringing up the rear of the field. They are basically 3, 6, 7, 8 basically BMWs from 8th down to 18th. Now, are we saying then that the BMW is not a strong car here? Because, you know, I watched Leon Elowat and I believe it was in the 24-hour, I think it was. And, you know, the guy's quick. You know, he's a quick driver. So are we here saying the BMWs are not suited to the Red Bull Ring, Kev?
I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. I mean, look, you got Paul Taylor up there doing a 29.9, so they must be suited if he can get a 29.9. Maybe just the other guys are just not up to speed yet as such. So I don't know, but it's a funny one, that one really. You, I know one thing about the Beamers, they're hard to get past. They're really hard to get past when you're racing.
That's because they're tanks, Kev. They're tanks. In conjunction with an Audi, which we haven't got. I think that's the only thing. We don't have an Audi this week. We don't have any representatives in a Ford this week either. You know, the Beamers are difficult cars in the Audis to get past because, you know, the Audi is such a petite car in general. And that's no disrespect to anybody who drives an Audi. Please, don't shoot me. I'm not saying it's a bad car. I'm just saying in conjunction with sitting in a Beamer, the Audi is a bit small, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah, it is a bit small. And like I said, I've been racing this week on Road America myself, and I got nudged off a Beamer, and all of a sudden I had damage, and the Beamer carried on, and I was a very unhappy man. But yeah, the Audi on this track is unbelievable. But like you say, it is a bit small.
I love the fact you just turned around and went, I was a very unhappy man. You know, that is basically us here in the booth, bringing down our emotions to a level that we can broadcast out. Okay.
Can I just jump in there? And that's my guy, Paul Taylor, doing a 29.7 up into P3 in quali. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, Paul.
There you go. Paul Taylor is one happy driver, currently in third place on a 129.72. We've still got Marcus Schum on a 129.55. Izzo on a 129.56. Next, Paul Taylor jumps up 2 tenths on a 129.72. Overtaken Justin Classens in fourth on a 129.75. So not a massive amounts there, guys. Outside of that, from the top four, we've got Sainton in the 130s. Marco Ferrone, 130 as well. And Sebastian Van den Hovel there on a 130. Duarte, Jorge Gomez, all the way down basically to about 17th, where we've still got Hugo Miguel Pereira and Ivan Amaro currently still out of the 130s on a 131.51, 131.53 respectively. So there you go. We are coming in now. You can see it on the left-hand side. We've got about 3.5 minutes remaining of qualifying. And then we are going to be showing the grid off. Now, Kev, obviously one of the things we haven't mentioned is 2 pit stops. 2 pit stops around here.
Yep, 2 pit stop again. I've never done a pit stop on this being a fixed race, but this is going to be interesting. I wouldn't know where to start, whether I'd come in early or not on this particular track. With it being as quick as it is, I probably would come in early, to tell you the truth. But then again though, no, I wouldn't. I would come in late because I could get, there'll be some good drafting on this maybe. Well, hopefully there'll be some good drafting on this, so you might be able to do a bit of fuel saving. So yeah, I might come in late if I was racing on this and it was 2 pit stop.
You reckon? I'm to be honest, I'm in the same boat as you. I've never really had to stop at the Red Bull Ring, as you see Paul Taylor there, just unfortunately go off track. You know, the only time I've done it is when I've been clattered in an MX-5 and somebody's put me in the pits. You know, the entrance is there on the right-hand side as we see Marcus Frayne just go round it. So you've got that long run down the hill. Into the box we go. We get, I was going to say get changed. Obviously, you're not going to jump out and change your race uniform. And then you've got to come out again. You know, you've got a good old length of about 60 seconds from start to finish in that pit box. 60 seconds around here, though, is practically half a lap, Kev. Is, you know, and that's going to bring a different perspective on whether or not the undercut's going to work.
Yeah, I think that's why I would do it that way. I would try and do a lot of drafting, fuel savings, and then once I know whoever's going, who's in front of me, say if I was near the lead, I'd just try and make sure I could get some very quick laps once I know he's gone in, and then I'd go in, because the bigger gap you can get, the better chance you've got getting out in front of him. So
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting strategy. I think literally, I think for the first time last week, we saw the undercut actually working by being the previous weeks where it just didn't work flat out. The undercut would come out and you were still stuck behind people. So at the end of the day, whether or not it's going to work here is a different story. We are coming into the last minute of qualifying left, so only a few drivers left out on track at the moment. Miguel Cordero, Stromer, Pletil, Polanco. Pletil is down in 14th at the moment. Kev, he's going to have some work there to do, isn't he?
yeah, got some work to do, being that far down 14th after such a good race last week. But never know, he might put in one right now. A quick one. No, he hasn't done a quick one there. But there's like you said, there's not much time left. Maybe could he get another one in? No, I don't think so. He's down, but he might run in ones who's not as good as qualifying, but puts to work in the race and gains a few places on the first two laps. So just have to wait and see.
Well, they've all got to put the work in. You've got about 10 seconds left of qualifying before we look at going into the warm-up session. Before we look at bringing you up the race, ready to go for an hour-long session. So that brings us nicely, guys, into, don't forget as well, before you go into the race, go and get a drink, get some popcorn, sit down, put this on the TV, and sit back, relax, and enjoy some epic next hour racing that you are going to be in for, and you do not want to miss it. And if you don't want to miss Race 7 in the F1 and F3 and F4 on Monday and Tuesday at Imola, turn on the bells. You need to turn on the bells. Give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for Anti-Stall Racing. And they will bring you all of the racing next week as well. So we've got Imola Monday, Tuesday, and then we've got Watkins Glen on the Friday. So please don't forget to do that before anything else. And if you are watching it back, just hit a thumbs up. You know you like it. It's not a problem. Otherwise, as it says, you wouldn't be sat there watching it. But you do enjoy it. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's get some likes on this one, guys. It is my last one within the Anti-Stall Racing League. So let's get it moving. Let's get it going. Come and have some chats. Have some interactions with us throughout this next hour, as we have just come to the end of qualifying. And currently, I can tell you, Marcus Schum is in first place. Alexandro Izzo is in second. Paul Taylor is in third. And Claessens there. Justin Claessens is down in fourth place. Well, that's incredible for Paul Taylor in the top three for this race, Kev. I think he's in for a chance.
He's in for a chance. I've been watching Paul Taylor, and I can see the potential. I've been watching him creep up slowly but surely, and now he's got that P3 in quali. So we're going to see what he can do in the race. But Claessens, Izzo, Strum, Van Den, there's some big names in there and some good drivers. So it's going to be tricky after this. Get the first lap out the way, second lap out the way, and then settle down, and we'll see where Paul Taylor is then. And if he's still in third, then I expect him to do the bits. So we'll wait and see.
You don't want to change your pick?
No.
Still settling with the man in pink.
The man in pink.
The man in pink. But there you go. That is it now. All hopes of the UK have been pinned on Paul Taylor from Kevin Wesleyberg here in the booth at Anti-Stall Racing League, Kev. And if he spins out now, you're going to be in commentators cussing. But here we go. Here is the qualifying results in front of us at the moment. Marcus Schum is in first on a 129.546. Alexandro Izzo is in second place. You can see the difference there, guys. It's 1,000th of a second. Paul Taylor in third. A little bit further back. Justin Claessens in fourth. Sebastian Van Den in fifth. Thomas Sainton in sixth. Marco Ferrone in seventh. Diego Duarte in eighth place. Miguel Cordero in 9th, Michael Pletil in 10th, Jorge Gomez in 11th, Elias Stromer in 12th, Leon Elawat is there in 13th place. Further down, guys, Eduardo Fava is in 14th, Manuel Polanco is in 15th, Ivan Amaro 16th, Ricardo Mercado in 17th, and Hugo Pereira is in 18th place. 10 minutes of warm-up now, Kev. This is, another chance for us to talk about the racing and everything else that has been going on. What are we thinking? What's the game plan for Shum? What has he got to do to try and keep Izzo behind him?
Oof. I don't know, because Izzo's just quick. Strum, if he's a good defender, if he can defend good, then he's basically got it in the bag if we've been in P1 in pole. But we do know how things go. Anything can happen. He could spin out on the first lap and later on in the race could have a bad pit. We just don't know. But if he can defend good, then we'll see how it progresses. But he's got my guy Paul Taylor and he's got Claessens there, and I think them four and Van Den, who's higher up the field, it's gonna be hectic, gonna be busy.
Okay. Now, last week we Kev, we might need to apologise here because we did cause a bit of a ruckus last week with the whole Massimo Berta defending and the drive-through and everything else. Now,
Yep.
Obviously, apologies. I would like to stress that me and Kevin Wesley Burke do not have any relations with any of the stewards or anybody within Anti-Stall Racing stewarding team. We have no how can I put it, influence over what they decide or no influence on what they say. We are a complete separate entity. We are here to bring you the racing. We are here to give you our opinions, and that is what we do. And that is our job primarily on a Friday evening. So if we confused anybody by saying that Massimo Berta, from our opinion, and it is literally just mine and Kev's opinion, did anything more than defending last week, then we apologise, because clearly we were not privy, shall I say, to mad replays that the stewards have. Obviously, I'm not saying that my opinion may change about the situation, and Kev's might not change either as well. But please, let's just make it clear that me and Kevin are not associated or have any strength of word with the stewards. That they are a complete separate entity in this league, and their decision is final, which I believe it has already been made on that one. Whether our opinion is completely different, that is why we're here. We are here to bring you the racing, to bring you our opinion of the racing. We, as I say, we do not influence any form of stewarding decision. Kev, just wanted to get that out there because it did cause quite a bit of a ruckus within the Discord. And for that, we can only but apologise, can't we, young sir?
Yeah, we apologise, but I stand by what I said that day. I just stand by it to the fullest. But yeah, we definitely apologise.
Let's not start it again, Kev. I've just given out a 30-second apology.
Yeah,
Let's not get involved in the mix.
But I just thought, for my opinion, great defending is great. I watched Schumacher defend, and that to me is great. That's what he was doing. He was doing this. He was the Schumacher of last week. That was great. That was quality. Schumacher defending at his highest level. You couldn't get no better, and he got penalised. What can I say? So once again, we apologise. We apologise, but we apologise. But it is what it is. This is racing at its finest.
Yeah. As you may have heard, Wes just piping in there, producer Wes in the background going, go on, Kev. Don't give Kev a spoon to wind anybody else up, Mr. Producer, sir. He's done enough. We've done enough of that over the last 2 weeks, being involved in the incidents and stuff like that as well. But I've got to be honest, Kev, from my point of view, I stand by what we were talking about. That's it. End of. Yep. No more, okay, on the Massimo Berta incident.
I can live with that.
Because, as I say, it did cause some... it's whatever. Anyway, moving on. We got about we could be here all night just discussing that 1 week where we've upset everyone. Right, we got about 4.5 minutes remaining of the warm up, guys. Let us know in chat who you think's gonna win. Who you think's going to come out on top? Is Shum going to keep Izzo back? Will Claessens come through the field? Or will the one and only, the man in pink, which is Paul Taylor, claim his first win this season? And me Barrichello, KKK, says Jorge Gomez. GG, no worries. Go race, guys. Jorge Gomez there. Currently in a BMW in the race. So I'm not, I hope you're watching the chat back and keeping an eye on the time, young sir, because you're supposed to be driving around this circuit in about 4 minutes. Are you Barrichello? Jorge Gomez to Massimo Berta's Schumacher? Well, I don't know. Only time will tell. Let's see how that one works. That's a put on the spot in YouTube chat, isn't it? And me, Barrichello. Maybe. I'm not quite sure if that's how you spell his name as well, Jorge Gomez. Maybe need to have a Google of that one. I'm pretty sure that Barrichello does not have a Q in the middle. But hey, who am I to tell you any different, young sir? You type away as much as you want to. And there you go. Hey, all to their own. 3.5 minutes, Kev. Are you going to change your mind?
No, my mind has. I'll stick with what I've said, and I feel that it's in the bag for a certain pink Porsche,
Pink
BMW. I think it's in the bag, but
okay,
it's going to be a good race tonight. Good race.
Okay, so we're sticking with our picks. Marcus Schillman for myself, and Paul Taylor for Mr. Kevin Wesley Burke in the booth here as well. So let's see how it all ties out, guys, in a little over 2 minutes. So last opportunity to get who you feel will be victorious in chat, and whether or not you will, who's going to be your winner, basically. If Massimo Berta, if you're still here, maybe you can let us know who you feel is going to be your winner. Biggles, if you're in chat as well. Jorge Gomez, let us know, are you going to come through the field and put in a first place on that BMW? That'd be quite an interesting one, wouldn't it? Oh, Jorge Gomez coming through the field, banging it on first place in the Beamer. Maybe it's stronger in the race, Kev, than it is in qualifying.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that, unfortunately, for some drivers, and like for me yesterday, not as good in qualifying, but was charging through the field. So yeah, some races are like that. You're not as good in quali, but in the race, once you're up to race speed, you charge through the field. So maybe it's one of them ones.
Maybe we're going to have to find out shortly on whether or not some people are going to come charging through the field to take the victory. We have got about a minute and a half remaining. Let's see how this all pans out, guys. Last opportunity to go and get your drinks. Last opportunity to go and get everything you necessarily need to be able to watch this race. Because trust me, you're not going to want to miss this whatsoever. So please go and get your drinks now. Go and get everything you need to sit back and enjoy the race, okay? Because it's going to be an absolutely epic evening of racing here that we're going to bring you in a little under 50 seconds time. If Marcus does not mess up the start, he will win. Marcus Schillman. Ooh, that's what I think. That's my pick as well, Hubati 79. He does drive like a robot. Well, at the end of the day, we've all got our different driving styles. Mine is generally trying to keep it out of the gravel, trying to not get hit from other cars behind. However, I was recently made aware, Kev, that I was in a recent YouTube video of iRacing, I don't know what they are, streamer snippet things, apparently. And it showed the fact that I got dived from about 50 miles away at Summit Point by a streamer coming up the inside, who nearly took two of us out in the race, I might add. And literally, he was just, it was just an incredibly dangerous maneuver as we head down, Summit Point, you go left and then you drop down into the hairpin. As we were coming down the hairpin, this wonderful individual, who I will not name him because I can't remember his name anyway, decided to dive me from about 50 yards away and nearly took off both of us into that. But I was made famous, apparently. I was in the YouTube video, so there you go.
Well, he just dive bombed you, so you sure it's not? You sure he wasn't commentating one time and he said?
No, dude, I was driving. He come through. You? No, he was celebrating. He was celebrating on stream. Anyway, yeah. Right, anyway, Kev, stop a minute. Good up. Marcus Schillman in first, Alexandro Rizzo in second, Paul Taylor third, Classens in fourth, Van Den in fifth, Sainton in sixth, Ferrone in seventh, Duarte in eighth, Cordero in ninth, Platel in 10th, Gomez in 11th, Elias Stromer in 12th place, Leonel Watt in 13th, Farber in 14th, Palenko 15th, Amaro 16th, Mercado 17th, Pereira in 18th place. So there you go. That's a good. We are starting halfway round in the in section, guys. Round the Worth, just before Worth. Well, literally on Worth, I should say, because that's where all the kinds are lined up. But going back to my famous moment on YouTube, Kev. Literally, he's celebrating the fact that he didn't take anybody out and get a 4X. Not the fact that he's just gone and dived 50 yards up the inside of two MX-5s trying to whiz round Summit Point. But, you know, hey-ho, all to their own. I'm glad it made a video. Well done for you, young sir. So there you go. A bit of a rant, a bit of a celebration, all done in one sentence. Right, here we go. So we're heading off now. Schum out in the lead. How should, really quickly, Kev, because you've got about 2 corners, how should Schum handle this start, mate? Back him up or send it for early?
Well,
Quick, Kev.
Yeah, just go for it. Just go for it. Bang, foot down, gone.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay, my way would be to bat them right up.
Yeah.
Put Izzo right under the back of Classens. I think Schum's gone though, Kev.
Yeah, he's gone.
Schum's gone. Here we go, guys. Round 7 of the GT3 Anti-Stall Racing League from Red Bull Ring. And we are green, and Schum went right before the last corner. Unfortunately, as we were just discussing, that wouldn't have been how I done it. But Schum is out in front with Izzo there. Paul Taylor there under attack from Classens. Classens has jumped Taylor at the start. He's in 4th. That's allowed Sainton to come right up behind Paul Taylor. And also Van Den is in the mix as they're heading up now into Remus to turn 2. Tricky left-hander Taylor takes the inside line. You can see him further back with Sainton side by side. He's got to be looking careful though, because we've seen with this track before, it can jeopardize your exit if you are slow coming out of 2 down to 3. Kev, no incidents so far apart from Classens getting past Paul Taylor and Duarte overtaking Marco Ferrone. Well done to the 18 drivers.
Yeah, well done indeed. And it looks like I was watching Sainton up.
Yeah, behind the back of Paul Taylor there. I thought he was going to get the jump on him.
I thought he was going to take him there for a second, but yeah, it looked like it was a clean start. Classens and Izzo, now he looks like Stum is under pressure.
Yeah, Schum is out in front at the moment.
Yeah.
Izzo in second. Classens in third. You can see it there, Kev. I think the start I would have handled a different way. From Marcus Schum's perspective, I would have looked at backing them cars right up. And I think he should have backed them right up there. That would have given him a little bit of a break to get away from Izzo Hapati in chat. By the way, Marcus did miss Hockenheim as he was doing the Nurbo 23. Okay, no worries there. Marcus Schum missed Hockenheim. But I would have backed him up. We see Van Den now all over the back of Sainton. Paul Taylor, not going to lie, Kev, he's a second off the pace on that last lap. He's currently out at a 133. Everybody else doing a 132 in front of him. He's looking heavy at the moment. He's not looking the 129s that we saw in quali at the moment, but we are only on lap 2.
Well, you know, my friend Paul Taylor, I said to him, I had a little chat with him. I said, run heavy in the next race, and then it'll lighten up and you'll be able to go clear. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see if he's done it.
Okay, well, we've got Farmer and Mercado there having a battle as well. I believe that was a move by Polanco, who overtook Edward Farmer in that corner, in that run up into Remus. Oh, they're almost 3 wide there. Polanco, Farmer and Mercado almost 3 wide. Farmer trying to there close the door, and unfortunately Mercado nearly run himself out on the grass and down into Schlossgold, and that wouldn't have been good in that off-camber corner. Now Farmer is trying to, oh, there's going to be contact there. There's going to be contact, Polanco and Farmer.
Managed to save it.
Yeah, just managed to keep each other on track. Oh, Kev, that could have been more dangerous.
Could have been way more dangerous. Could have took out the back markers then, but he managed to save it. So
yeah,
still driving there.
Yeah, that was Edward Farmer and Manuel Polanco. They're still together in 16th and 17th. Pereira, Amaro and Mercado did well to try and avoid them individuals as they were taken to the inside of Roush on the grass. He sent it out the inside, and unfortunately for them, they managed to both save it. And still in this race with a little over 57 minutes remaining. Oh, as we see now, Pereira trying to look in up the inside of Farmer. Unfortunately, Kev, it's a BMW back 7 lockout. Unfortunately, the BMs are not looking strong. Unless, of course, you're at the hands of Paul Taylor. As you see Marco Ferrone just literally sending it up the inside of Diego Duarte. And here comes Pletil. He's going to have a go at Duarte down into Schlossgold. Turn 3 on this Red Bull Ring track. Pletel in the Porsche, and there we've got Duarte in the BMW. Is Pletel going to send another Beamer to the back of the field? Is Elias Stromer going to clear Miguel Cordero and send that to the back of the field? And then unfortunately we will have a back 9 lockout of Beamers here at the Red Bull Ring, not looking as strong as they have been at other tracks there. Kev was on board with Marco Ferrone, just sending it up the inside. Yeah, bullied him into Remus. And he got that job done there for Marco Ferrone. Made the gap, kept the gap, and just bullied, but at the time, Duarte there off the racing line. Good move from Ferrone. Cleared Duarte, got Duarte out the way. We've just had a notification that Edward Farber has had an incident. I'm not quite sure if he's still at the, he's actually gone to the back of the field. That's coming round Worth here on the Red Bull and straight in to the barrier. Beamers, Kev, not having a good time, are they?
No, they're not having a good time at all for some reason. But Paul Taylor's championing the Beamers there. He's pulled one of the fastest times a lap ago with a 29 something it was. So, but yeah, the other Beamers don't seem to be up to scratch for some reason, which is unusual. But maybe it's not a Beamer track, unfortunately for them today.
Yeah, we've got Pletil now climbing all over the back of Duarte as they're heading down into Schlossgold. Now, this corner doesn't look much, Kev, but many times I've sent a car round spinning quite ceremoniously into the barrier, you know, because I've hit the power a little bit early. Turn 3 is a little bit more of a tricky corner than just turning right, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit of a tricky corner. You got to be wise in where you're gonna put the throttle down, let off a little bit, then put the throttle down and give it some.
Yeah, because that's one of them corners as well. If you take too much of the inside curb, and don't get me wrong, there is not a lot of it on that corner in Schlossgold on that inside curb, and you do get an off track. But then again, you can run as wide as you like here and have all 4 wheels off the track, and also no, not that far off Michael Pletil. But unfortunately, that's put him under attack from the Beamer of Miguel Cordero, heading down into turn 1. Cordero in the Beamer on the left now, Pletil on the right. Cordero bullies Pletil. He goes in deep though. I think he's got in deep. There's the run out of turn 1 that we were talking about. That Pletil's now got the run going up into Schlossgold. Side by side, these two gentlemen now at the moment. Pletil on the right, Cordero on the left. Who is going to get this down into turn 2? Pletil, yeah, but he's got to be careful. Look at the run coming back. Is Cordero going to be looking to trying to come down into free, Kev? That's the thing. They're just straight turn, and you've got to get it done, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go for it. I think Pletil's definitely still got him.
But he's gone wide. No, Pletel's gone in deep. Pletel's going to go in deep. These two guys, yeah, side by side. Oh no, Cordero is in front of Michael Pletil. And that's a Beamer moving up now, where unfortunately that's a Porsche dropping down into the clutches of Elias Stromer, who was in the Lambo there, not doing the same as Klassen's in 3rd place in the Lambo. The other drivers in the Beamer, Jorge Gomez, Leon Elliott, Ivan Amaro, Miguel Pereira, Farber and Mercado are not doing it as well as Paul Taylor is currently in 4th place and within touch of the leaders, but he is losing a little bit of time. 130.7 last time out. 130.45 and 4, I believe it was, respectively, for the leaders there. You know, 52 minutes, Kev, pit stop round about 25 minutes. And then again, between that 15 and 10 mark that we were talking about, as we see, Duarte has been off track, Pletil has been off track as well. I believe that's going to be what we saw in the last corner there. Oh, here we go. Pletil's got that run again on Cordero. Stromer's sitting there waiting to pounce, but he just doesn't know what's going to happen with the guys in front at the moment. Is Miguel Cordero going to facilitate Michael Pletil trying to go around him on the inside? Here we go now, Pletil going down through Schlossgold now. The long right-hander Pletil keeps it a lot more stable on track than he did the first time. And down into Roush we go. What are you thinking, Kev, from a driver's point of view here? You know, Pletil's already had a bit of an iffy moment. You know, Cadero's got back through. They swap positions now. That's 3 times, I believe, they've swapped positions. Stromer just not quite sure what happened there. I don't know if Pleto was going slow, but Stromer went very wide, and that's unfortunately, that has allowed Jorge Gomez up the inside of Stromer. That'd be an interesting one to see if we can have a look back and see what that happened there, because that was a little bit of a weird one for Elias Stromer, and he's now unfortunately dropped down a position in 12th behind Gomez. Driver's point of view, Kev, 10 minutes in, what are you thinking now, mate? Because obviously, from some of the drivers that are normally up front, like Pleto, you're stuck behind Cadero, and Duarte and Ferrone, who are doing stellar jobs this week. What's your plan, mate? Do you look at undercutting or do you look at running full?
I'm not sure. Maybe running full. Like I said, Patil, then there's been a few exchanges between him and the other brother. So maybe if he just takes a nice deep breath, gathers his thoughts, maybe he'll be able to pull back that place and push on.
Yeah, as we've just seen Leon Elowat go past Elias Stromer as well. And then some funky things started happening. Here's Jorge Gomez looking back on board with Stromer to come and see what happened with the... so Stromer got a big dose of tank slapping. And that unfortunately allowed Jorge Gomez up beside him, who's now unfortunately for Stromer. Oh, Elowat's gone in deep as well. And gone off track. That's allowed Stromer back through. So that's another position gained for Elias Stromer there. He's now still in 12th. Pushing on, trying to get on to the back of Jorge Gomez and trying to get away from the flying Leon Elowat here, Kev. We're 15 minutes in now. Couple of pockets of battles materializing. You know, you got the front 3. Then you got kind of Paul Taylor on his own. Then you got Van Den, Ferrone are having their own little battle with 7 there. Marco Ferrone just a little bit further back. Oh, that's Elowat into the barrier. Leon Elowat. Oh, too much sausage curb. Overcorrected the steering. And unfortunately spun that beamer back the other way. And here we go. And now we're into the barrier. As you can see, goes right. Corrects left and the car grips, and into the barrier goes Leon Elowat. Whether or not, hopefully he got away with that one safely. He just takes a big dose there, Kev, didn't he? Trying to correct that, and then unfortunately just a massive tank slapper sent him back the other way.
Yeah. He was very unlucky there. It's one of them things. Put on the power, lost it, tried to gain it, and lost it, went off.
Yeah.
Is what it is, I suppose, in that respect.
Yeah, not too good for Leon Elowat there. But we have got Van Den and Sainton. These guys are literally 0.3 seconds back from each other. Currently the closest battle on circuit at the moment. Thomas Sainton in the Porsche. Sebastian Van Den in the Porsche as well. As these guys coming round turn 1. With a little over 45 minutes remaining of this hour race as well. Don't forget, guys, we did discuss pit stops earlier on. We are looking between about 25 and 30 minutes, and then we're looking at about 15 to 10 minutes remaining. That's roughly when the pit stop seems to be happening here. So be aware that that was what the kind of time frame we're looking at in this race. As you can see on the left-hand side, we've got an hour on the race clock, and we're already 13 minutes in of tonight's round 7 GT3 race here at the Red Bull Ring. Currently led by Marcus Schum by over a second, Kev. We haven't really shown much of Schum, as we see pick up a replay of Manuel Polanco. Oh, who is that in the barrier? Was that? It's car number 18, I believe. Was that Ivan Amaro? Yeah, Ivan Amaro, big dose of sausage curb there. And unfortunately, Manuel Polanco just goes past him there. Easily done there, Kevin, in that corner.
Yeah, it is easily done. It's like he just got on the power a bit too early and spun off. Luckily, it didn't look like he did any damage to the front.
Yeah, no, unfortunately managed to keep it out. Not unfortunately, fortunately, sorry. managed to keep it out of the barrier. Paul Taylor could get himself dragged into a battle here. He does not want to be in, and it can happen very quickly indeed with the likes of Sainton, with the likes of Van Den behind him. Don't forget, Paul Taylor is the only Porsche in the top 7. All the others are outside of the top 7, 8th and 9th. Duarte and Cadero. Down in 11th is Gomez, and then literally 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th are all BMWs. As we see, Leon Elawat, I believe, is out, and Ricardo Mercado is also out of tonight's race. So that leaves us 16 cars remaining, guys, of this GT3 Anti-Store Racing League race here from the Red Bull Ring. We are just keeping an eye on the Paul Taylor, Saint-Tom Van Den battle that is slowly going to be coming along, I think. And this one is on the barbecue, Kev, and I think the chicken's cooking.
The chicken's cooking with jerk seasoning, and we're going to see what happens here, because Paul Taylor seems to be in the press. Also, he's driving a bit slower than them. I just noticed he did a 31 and they're banging 30s, so they're catching him quick, but he's got the tank, and the tank will prevail.
I don't know.
We're going to see what happens.
I'm not one to normally cause a commentator's disagreement here, Kev, but I can't see that, and that isn't a detrimental comment to Paul Taylor, but Sainton and Van Den are in the 130s, and you know, Taylor's still breaking in the 131s, trying to get out of the tow. I don't know, and here we go. This is the battle that we were expecting. Sainton on the right, Taylor on the left. Coming down now, here they go into Remus. Tricky left-hander, Taylor's had to tighten up to, oh, Taylor and Sainton is off.
Oh.
Sainton and Taylor off track. Oh, they're still going. Oh.
That, oh my word.
Oh, I think there's going to be, I think there has to be.
There has to be an inquiry there.
Inquiry. I think the stewards need to jump on that one.
My favourite driver here. That was, words, I can't even, I've got no words.
Got no words.
I need to drink water.
Have a drink of water, mate. Let's have a look back at that incident there with Sainton, see if we can get on board with Sainton, just to see what actually happens here. As we can see, Pletil making a move past Duarte and Cordero. I think Pletil just managed to clear Duarte in one corner and then got the job done over Cordero as well. So that's Pletil now up into 7th place. Managed to jump the PIT team. You can see them there, Duarte, Cordero and Gomez. Need to go a little bit further back if we can and see what actually happened as we're whizzing back through now. We see here with Paul Taylor for some
tight, went out right, and then was that his fault? Was it?
I don't know.
This one here.
Oh,
that's
right.
That's revenge.
Yeah.
Let
me have a look here. So Taylor they kind of almost got stuck together like Velcro, didn't they, going into Remus. And then we jumped back on board, and then, there was a lot of room for Sainton to get past Taylor there. See, here we go now. Look, they've just come to contact. Sainton kind of kept it left.
Yeah, it's revenge.
Oh, stop it, will you conspiracy theorist, man.
It's a bit of revenge. It's got to be Sainton. He decided that, no, I'm not having none of this. Paul Taylor, he knew that he was my favourite. He thought, no, I'm making sure that Paul Taylor's at the back. So at least he knows.
Listen.
Oh, my word.
Right, Paul Taylor is now.
Some holy water.
Yeah, go. I mean, we need a taxi in the booth and some beta blockers for our man Kevin Burt before he busts a vein in his neck there. Look, there's the first initial contact. They almost got stuck together, which that I agree with was a complete accident. But I do think Sainton could have dragged that. He could have kept that left on track there. Sainton, a driver of his experience, you know, over 4K IR, you would have known to go left there. Oh, I don't know. I think the stewards have got to come back and have a look at that. The initial contact, I think, was just an accident. Taylor really couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't tighten that corner up anymore.
Taylor's away first. You can see he's in front. Boom.
Holy water. Yeah, he's heading.
I have sinned. Sainton's going to have to say the words, "Forgive me, Father, I have sinned." He's going to have to.
Yeah, Taylor couldn't tighten up Remus anymore, but Sainton could have gone left by about a good 10 meters.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think the stewards will have a look at that one. And as per normal, guys, don't forget, we are innocent. We are not associated with the stewards. Our opinions are merely here to keep the racing as we're going along. As we see, Duarte has got back past Michael Pletil. For whatever reason, Kev, Pletil in that Porsche cannot clear the three beamers of Duarte, Cordero, or Gomez. And unfortunately now, here it is. There you go. That is Duarte is through. For whatever reason, he can't pull away, Kevin. He seems to be managing to get the positions back, is Pletil, but he can't get away from him.
I wouldn't like to be in this little controversy right here. Three beamers all over me. Wow. I don't know if I'd be under pressure. I'd be feeling it, knowing I've got one in front, maybe holding me. I've got one in behind on me. That'd be pressure.
Yeah, but do you think now that I can't see? The problem is, from Duarte's point of view, he's done a 131.71 last time out. Pletil did a 132.2. So is the emphasis on Pletil not driving fast enough? Because we can't really say Duarte's holding him up. It's just, again, he's just taken half a second out of Pletil. Yeah. So, you know, it's not all on Duarte, mate, for holding him up, is it?
The guy behind him, that's where the pressure's going to come from.
Well, if he's not careful, he's going to be in the hands of Cordero. And Cordero was only a tenth slower than Pletil in that last lap. But Pletil has got the draft as we're coming up into Remus now. Pletil in 8th, Cordero in 9th. These are the gainers in their race. They are up 2. Pletil was up 2. Duarte is up 1. Pereira is up 5. He's down in 13th. Was started in 18th. Obviously, we've got Elawat out, Mercado out. And by the looks of it, your boy, Paul Taylor, is no longer, is he in the race? I can't see.
Yeah, he just posted a 31.576.
Oh, okay, so Paul Taylor is still moving there, and he has done a pit stop, so he's been in the pit circuit. So Paul Taylor is not out yet. He's still going just on the lead lap, I believe, as well there for Taylor. He's currently in 16th, yes. Paul Taylor is in. He's going around Remus to start the leaders.
We're here with the culprit. Here he is now. He's gone.
Kev, we're supposed to remain impartial in racing. Did you not know?
No, but it's Paul. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this bit I can't see. Taylor cannot tighten this call up. He can't tighten it up.
It's accident.
Yeah, he can't tighten that. He can't tighten that corner up anymore.
Paul gets away first. You can see he's in front here, and then Sainton, look, holy water.
Maybe there might be a few Hail Marys from Tamil Sainton all the way through the race. I'm sure we may hear about it after. Let's jump back in. Can we jump back in that gyro with Taylor, Sainton on that and see? There you go. Look, his car looks fine. Unfortunately, his car is fine. Unfortunately for Paul Taylor, Thomas Sainton's car is still running. You have been in the pits, Mr. Taylor, average of 45 seconds, so maybe he's got in a field. I suppose they were just about in that pit window, so it's possible there for Paul Taylor. He might just be all right, and currently seems to be okay in that BMW. No major dramas. Yeah, it doesn't. It looks, to be fair, I think they've got a fast repair, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And I believe he looks pretty clear and done. However, one man who seems to be struggling is Pletil and Duarte, but up front, Izzo is coming out. He's pulled out another 2 attempts over Marcus Schumacher. There's Klassen, there's Van Den, there is Ferrone, the first man to jump into the pits on purpose. I'm going to put that out because I don't feel Paul Taylor purposely went into the pits as early on as he did, as we see Marcus Ferrone going into the pits. And here he is. That is the battle with Fava and Pereira. Their guys are swapping positions as well. This is the battle, the 13th and 14th place. Kev battling all the way through the field. I suppose in a short way of putting it, you don't want to be the end beamer, do you?
No, not at all. But there's been some good little battles here, so it's been enjoyable this race so far, and some good battles, some good racing. And is he going to make a move now?
Yeah, Fava is on the right-hand side. Here we go. They're going too wide with Pereira going down into Remus. They go. Pereira sends it out the inside, turns around and says to Father, no. Oh, see, the problem with that call, Kev, that we made on that last one, we've just seen Pereira tighten up that corner even more than Taylor did. So there you go. Does that open up into the bait? Here we go. Stop it. Run it down into Roush.
Taken properly.
Kev.
And the corner was taken properly.
Kevin, stop it. Kev, you're starting. The producer was laughing in the background here. Kevin, stop it. Well, yeah, somebody get a dummy and please stick it in Mr. Burke's chops this evening. He's well on one. Starting it off there, Pereira did manage to tighten up that corner, and Father kept Father at bay as well through the next part of the racetrack. So there you go. Sainton has had an incident. I believe Sainton has been involved in an incident as well.
Sainton's had an incident?
Yeah, I think so, because Shum's gone. I don't know what's happening on my screen. I'm just literally staring at I'm not
see that at all?
Yeah, I think Shum has. Hold on. What has happened to Marcus Shum? Sainton's in the pits.
It's in the pits.
So can we have a look at the Sainton replay? Here we go. This is on board with Thomas Sainton, second to last corner. Oh, he goes round. Last corner now. Does he bounce it? He does. Round he goes. Oh, okay. Keeps it out of the. Oh!
Great. There's some good driving there. There's some good driving there. And then guys was
Sainton jumping straight to the pits. And that is it. He's in the pits now. Sainton gets right out the way. He's now picking up the toe. Marcus Shum still out in first place from Izzo there as well. So there you go. So Shum is still out in the lead there. Sainton. That was the Pletil Cadera, believe, battle. Gomez, who went round past Tom and Sainton, who was stationary in the middle of the track after a somewhat not great of a rejoin. But he got it round and then he pressed the button and got it out of the way. So Thomas Sainton there going into the pits, and I believe is currently still sat in there. So he's still under tow, which, believe it or not, is actually longer than the longer than the actual time in the car. So there you go. So poor Thomas Sainton's going to be in there for a good couple of minutes before he get any work done whatsoever. But Pletil is still not clear in this battle of Duarte and Cordero. And Cordero, they've managed to drop Gomez now about 2.6 seconds, Kev. This battle is looking quite spicy here in the middle. It's going to be another battle of the pit stops, I feel, as well, where these guys will all head in together.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of the pit stops, without a shadow of a doubt. But you never know. Pletil might just do something and might be up a little bit closer to him and just send it in one of the corners and go for it.
The problem with that is, Kev, he's not getting close enough to Duarte to actually make much of a difference on the Duarte time in front. He's just not getting close enough. He's losing time in the middle, which is then dropping him into the hands of this man, Miguel Cordero, and he's currently in 7th place. And he's not really trying to get away from him. And this is the thing, he's not escaping the beamers that we thought Pletil would once he got out in front.
I do agree.
Oh, there you go. Duarte and Cadero's in.
Yeah,
There's Pletil gone round. Pletil has gone round.
Can he put?
Oh, is Izzo out before Shum? Is Izzo out before Shum? He is. Yeah, Izzo is out. Oh, didn't Izzo go in? Izzo didn't go in. Izzo's still going round. So Izzo's gone a little bit. Yeah, I thought he went in as well, but Izzo has gone a little bit longer and has now gone round. There is Marcus Shum coming out of the pits. He's currently exiting the pit in 3rd place, obviously, because Pletil is also didn't go in, and Izzo has not gone in as well. But here we go. This is Izzo now. Last lap time was a 1:30.49. He's got to stick in at least something along them lines to try and get that gap down to Marcus Shum, who's going to be currently, he's coming round down the long straight, down into Schlossgold, into turn 3. And unfortunately for Izzo, Shum, Claessens is not too far behind him. But is this where Izzo's going to go? Oh, he nearly missed it. He didn't. Oh, says Wes shouting from the background. Wes,
Ooh.
welcome in.
You nearly missed it. No, you nearly missed it. That was a close one.
He did nearly miss it there for Izzo. And that's going to jeopardize his time because pit lane times are about 50 seconds. And he did not have 50 seconds over Marcus Schum. And I know there was some slight warnings going on involving the pit limiter as in here as well, that the guys had to use the pit limiter. I believe Pleto is coming in behind him. There is Marcus Schum coming round now, the last corner. Is Schum going to get this jump over Izzo? There is Schum on the right. Izzo's gone.
Come on.
Izzo's away. He's not up to full speed. He's got a slow tight now down for Schum.
No,
Oh, Schum's going to be kicking himself.
Wow. Quality.
Izzo jumped Schum by going over the overcut, going a little bit one lap longer. And now Marcus Schum has got it all to do because Izzo has done a 1:29.99 so far in this race, Kev. Marcus Schum has only done a 1:30.07. And his Pletel jumped Duarte by doing the same thing. Pletel is... Oh, this is going to be side by side going up into Remus. Pletel not up to speed. Here we go. Cordero. Duarte's tucked up behind Pletel now. Pletel went along. Oh, I would have taken the inside. Here we go. Duarte's going to try and send it up the inside. Pletel's going to try and keep him side by side. Pletel looks for the comeback. Duarte went in deep. That was stunning, wasn't it? Stunning. Yeah. Absolutely stunning driving in from Michael Pletel on that run down into turn 3. Pletel on your left in the blue Porsche. Duarte there in the black-red Beamer. Duarte tries the same thing that Pletel does and looks at trying to come back early. Pletel now on, got out, he's done now. That's it, job done for Michael Pletel. He's now in 6th. Can he keep Duarte back behind him this time as they head round Worth and down now? Here we go, the left-hander out of that run out of Worth, down, coming down into Rin. There you go, big bunch of curb there, Kev. That's what I was talking about earlier on. Driver 34 and 38, multiple instances, including an unsafe rejoin. So 34 is Paul Taylor, 38 is Thomas Sainton. Drive through for 38. That's Sainton. He's not even, I don't even think he's in the race anymore.
No, he's not.
No, so maybe that penalty might have to be given to him in the next race. There, Mr. Stewart. Thomas Sainton is not currently in the race. So unfortunately for him, he's Sainton. Well, I suppose in one way he misses a penalty, but I'm sure it will get carried over into the next race. But that still doesn't justify Paul Taylor being down in 11th after being up in 4th, Kev, does it?
No, it doesn't. He's just took a place right now.
Yeah, from Manuel Polanco.
No, it doesn't, unfortunately. It's just one of them things. This is racing. This is what it's all about. This is what we want to see. But it's holy water has been cast, and now it's back to racing, and we're going to see where Paul Taylor ends up in the end. He's up to 10th from 11th now. Yeah,
he's just gone past Manuel Polanco in the Ferrari. Manuel is not letting him go easily, though, mind you. He's still stuck. He's still closing up behind him as they come into Roush, the first corner of round the big ball that we go round to the left, and then you got Worth there on the left-hand side. Pleto and Duarte still having this scrap as they're running now down the second to last corner. Pleto in front from Duarte coming down now. They both run wide, slightly wide on the curb. And now around the last corner they go, both taking the same line. Pleto runs slightly wider than Duarte. Duarte looks like he's got a little bit of a better exit. The gap is coming down, but only very slowly. Coming down up into turn 1 now. Pleto on the brakes, points to Porsche in the direction it needs to go on the throttle. Both of them jumped a little bit of the sausage curb, Kev. That's caused a little bit of an issue this evening with cars spinning round.
Yeah, it has. It has. You take too much of the curb and you can come off, unfortunately. But it's one of them things. The curb is a little bit high on that particular corner. But yeah, you just got to be careful, unfortunately. Just be careful on that curb.
Yeah, Platil there still keeping 6th place from Duarte. We got 27 minutes remaining, guys, as well. So no, we might as well, while we're taking a little bit of a break in the action, Don't forget, guys, as well, subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up. There you go. There is that cutback from Pletil. Absolutely stunning job.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning there from Michael Pletil. Looked, he saw Duarte coming, gave him that room, allowed Duarte to run through, and then absolutely cut back as Duarte went in far too deep. Deeper than a diver in the Atlantic Ocean did Duarte go, and that's allowed Pletil to come back through there. Pletil set him up, left the door open, and Duarte went straight through and got the job done here. We're just having another look as you see on the front right with Duarte's car. And, oh, that was close. But Pletil got the job done. As I was saying, guys, as well, don't forget, subscribe, thumbs, bells, turn on the love. Monza, no, not Monza. Get your words back out, James. I believe it's actually, yeah, it is Monza on Monday and Tuesday in the F1 and F3 and F4. And then Watkins Glen on race 8 in the GT3s next Friday, where you will have probably Wesley Wiggins and Kevin Burt providing you the commentary. As I say, this will be my last one this week. So much love to everybody. And he's still racing his Duarte, sends it in again. He keeps it under control. They're running side by side. In Remus now, they're heading down into Slushcode. They managed to keep it side by side.
Like in the lead. Oh, he looks like it's just in front of him.
Plateau on the right. No, look, Cordero, Duarte's got it done. He's trying to leave the door open for Cordero. I thought Cordero might have followed Duarte through there, Kev. He looked like Duarte almost held up Plateau a little bit to keep the door open for Cordero.
Yeah, he's sandwiched now. And he's under pressure.
He's not getting away, is he? Oh, Duarte's gone on the gravel. He managed to keep it there. There's Duarte in front.
Right.
Pletil on the left now. Cordero's going to come through and tell him round, say, look, let me have a go. Cordero is all over the back of Pletil, coming into second to last corner, and all I can see is trees. There you go. Round the last corner.
This went a bit high pitched then.
Mate, I can only... There you go. Pletil has got the job done from Duarte and Cordero. Pletil held them up. He's still out in front of Kev. Stunning driving.
From Pletil. He's been under pressure by all 3 BMWs, and now he's been under pressure by 2, and he just prevailed.
Yeah.
Who can I see in the background? Paul Taylor.
No, you can't see Paul Taylor.
Oh, I can see him.
No, he's got Elias Stromer in front of him. Elias Stromer, mate, he is pushing. Don't get me wrong. Paul Taylor is shifting on. He did a 1:37.7 last time out to Stromer's 1:31.92. So Taylor was almost 1.2 seconds faster than Stromer. Pereira has been off track. We'll try and catch up with that one in a minute, but let's stick with the battle with Paul Taylor and Elias Stromer as they're heading round now, round to that long run down by Roush. We turn left now, taking as much of the exit curb as we can. Paul Taylor runs over it now, and then they go left again into Worth on that run out now. We're going to go left and right, and then we're going to jump to Miguel Cordero, who is climbing all over the back of Pletil, coming down into second to last. Oh, my God. Oh, Pletil's got it deep. Pletil went in deep. That allowed Cordero come out. If you're wondering why I'm laughing, because that view there that our lovely producer picked up, she gave me nothing but trees. These bloody trees, how dare they on the earth get day of all days. I know, tell me about it, Biggles there. I blame Wes. He picked the one that put me behind the trees there, Biggles. So there you go. Right, Miguel Cordero. Anyway, back to the racing. Serious action going on in the GT3 Anti-Stall Racing League tonight at the Red Bull Ring. Pletil, Cordero, and Duarte. Cordero has swapped with Duarte to have another go at Pletil. Poor Pletil there. Taylor's in the pits for his second pit stop there, Kev. He's got 22 minutes. Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
No, you never know. He could... He caught up to these guys pretty quick, and he might be able to do the same thing, get a push on him, maybe getting the points.
It's not that though, Kev, is it? It's the fuel.
Yeah, it is the fuel, but
Don't worry about fuel. Who needs fuel to get the car going? Platel and Cadero side by side coming out of Worth now. Here we go, Platel trying to hold her back, second to last corner as we come round Wint. Cadero on the left, Platel on the right. See Cadero, Platel come back across there to take his line into the ring. We go down into Red Bull Mobile, last corner here at the Red Bull Ring. Platel runs in, he's gone slightly wider than Cordero as they're heading up the start-finish straight. Cordero now with Duarte tucked up right behind him. I think Duarte's going to want to make that move. Does he make a move into turn one? Diego Duarte now, getting it all over Cordero. Is he looking at sending it out the inside? Closing, Kev.
Yeah, he's closing, but he's not close enough, unfortunately. Not close
Diego
enough.
Duarte.
Patel's driving today has been impeccable. If he carries on like this, he can get the drive of the day for the day for me. Definitely driving's been brilliant, been sandwiched in between 3 BMWs, then 2, and he's been under pressure by 1, and then one of the other BMWs saying, well, let me have a go. And then he dropped back, and the other one saying, let me have a go. And he's prevailing. You can see him, he's starting to pull away a little bit. But then at some spots, he's not pulling away. So if he can get a nice gap, he'll be able to pull away, and then he's out of the BMW sandwich.
See, my fear on this one is Duarte is quicker than Cadero. Cadero is currently looking at 130.8. 131.94 last lap. Duarte 131.44. So currently Cadero is doing Platil a favour and holding up his teammate Duarte there from Portugal iRacing team. Because if I was Duarte, I would be on that radio. I would. Well, there you go. Look, I could just impersonate it. Could I? You know, Miguel, this is James. Faster car, please let him through. That's what I would be saying. Because Duarte is clearly visually quicker than Cordero to have a go at Platil. And Platil is still not breaking away from Cordero, however, but Duarte is looking quicker back in the back of the pack. Here he goes now, look, on the left-hand side. He's got to be on that radio. Somebody from the PIT, get on the radio. Get Duarte in front of Cordero because he's going to be good about to go at Platil by now. Don't you think, Kev? I think they need to swap.
Yeah, they have to swap. Duarte is way more quicker, but the sniffing on this.
Oh, Cadero sent it on the inside. Platil's got to be looking at trying to come back. Did Cadero hold it? He did. Cadero held it down into slush gold. I don't think Platel was expecting that one, and that has allowed Cadero to get through. We were just talking about how Duarte was quicker, and then Cadero out of nowhere, like a magician, pulls the move out of his pocket, and that's got him past Michael Platel, and that is Cordero up into 6th, Platel into 7th, and I can't see how much longer Platel was going to hold this for with the flying Duarte in that Beamer.
No, I can't see either. He's been under pressure all this race, and Duarte looks like he's going to be all over him. He's quick, Duarte, without a shadow of a doubt, and we don't know whereabouts he's going to catch him. He might catch him up on this first corner here.
No, he's a little bit further back. I think this is going to be. Yeah, Platel got a decent run out of there, which has allowed him to catch into the draft of Cadero in front. This could certainly turn into a four-way there, guys, because slightly at the back of that is Elias Strober, and he's only 0.82 seconds back from Diego Duarte. So this turn in to an absolute epic battle with Cordero, Platel, Duarte and Stromer now in the Lambo. Stromer wants a piece of this cake that Cordero has got. And I'll tell you what, he's after that big chunk of cake there, and unless it's chocolate, I definitely don't want any. It's got to be chocolate cake, Kev. What about you?
I'm not a chocolate cake fan, unfortunately. If it's apple crumble,
cut him off. Where's cut him off? Don't want him in the booth. What was that?
Apple crumble fan me. Apple crumble all day long. Apple crumble. Oof.
Oh, see, I don't know. Apple crumble with custard, it's got to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Warm apple crumble.
That's the voice of Wesley Wiggins just joining us in the booth here for the last 15 minutes. I think at the end of the day, I'm definitely apple crumble or apple pie man with custard. And if I'm really lucky, and if I open up the freezer before the kids have eaten it, I might be able to put some ice cream in that as well. So there you go. custard and ice cream, guys. Before you go, bleh, try it. It's lovely.
I've never tried it, but you never know.
I'm never
Go
gonna.
try it. Try it with vanilla ice cream. It's stunning, stunning. Right, back to the action now, dear Kev. Here we go. We can still got Cadero, Pletil, Duarte, and Stromer. It's kind of died down. It's gotten a little bit off the sizzle. There's not much heat involved now in this little mixed battle, is there currently at the moment? But as I say,
No.
that Pletil closes right up the back of the Cordero. So, you know, what do I know?
He got a good run there, Platel, in that last bend. So you might be able to catch back up to him and put him under pressure. But as we've seen last time when he was sandwiched in between them both, he found it very hard to get past the BMW. So can he do the same thing again? We'll see. We will see.
Can we jump to our leaders that I believe has turned into a freeway battle? Izzo, Classens is there now, and Shum. Literally, these guys are separated by basically a second from Platil to Classens. So this could be another one that could be bubbling up nicely into the boil. We go, and we might see a freeway battle for the lead in the last 15 minutes of Alessandro Izzo, Michael Shum, and Justin Classens. You can see them all closing up there as we're heading round Remus down into Schlossgold. We go, Classens in the back in the black Lambo. And we see Pletil go into the pits, an earlier one this time. Kev, he went later last time.
Yeah, an earlier one. But yeah, this front battle here now, and as you can see with Glassens, all of us. Go on, I want to see if he can make the move and then put Izzo under pressure. Because when they're racing together, it's fireworks.
Yeah, so stay tuned, guys, for the last 15 minutes of this race. We've got Izzo now from Shum, from Classens. All three lead cars are on track. You can see it there. Classens in the Lambo is looking visually quicker than Marcus Shum. However, I do not want Marcus Shum to give up this position because he was my pick for first place. Whereas Paul Taylor for Mr. Burke was involved in an incident with Thomas Sainton, who's got a drive-through but wasn't actually in the race to serve the drive-through. So I'm sure that penalty will get carried over to the next week's race at Watkins Glen. But here we go with the front three, Classens, Shum and Izzo. I bet Shum needs that draft there, Kev.
Oh, no, Shum's under pressure. Classens is definitely going to take him. You know what I mean? From the front three, these three drivers are great drivers, and Izzo and Classens are very, very good drivers. Watching them race in previous races, but Shum isn't the defending champion when it concerns defending, so I feel Classens is going to take him.
Okay, so let's just say, put it out there now, there's no disrespect to Marcus Shum there on his driving, but as we can see it now, he is closed right up to the back of Izzo. So if Shum manages to get past Izzo, that's going to put Izzo back with Classens, and that will be an absolutely epic scrap that I look forward to. Even that, or Classens is going to have to get past Shum to have a go at the man, the machine. That is Alessandro Izzo out in front, who's currently leading the championship on 333 points, I believe. So here we go. This is how it's going to materialize for the last 13 minutes. And don't forget, guys, as well, there's one more stop to go. That's going to throw the spanner in the mix. And let's see who blinks first there, Kev, as they head it round now for lap 32.
Yeah, we're going to have to see who blinks first. And just as I said, Shum is not the defending champion. What he is definitely the pushing champion, because he's pushing Izzo. And he's definitely all over Izzo now. So can he take him? This looks like a good battle at the front. Somebody has to give, though. Somebody has to give.
And this is the problem for Shum. It's slower than Classens out of turn one, which is allowing Izzo to get that little bit of a break. But then Shum comes back all the way around the rest of the track. But he's got to sort that turn one out, because otherwise, you see it here, he closes right up to Izzo, but he can't get turn one sorted out, and this puts him under pressure from Classens, as we're seeing here.
Classens is way closer to him this time than he was on the last lap. So he looks like he's ready for a move.
Oh.
He's making it.
Classens trying to go round now. Did he hold it? He manages to hold it. Classens is through.
Classy move from Classens there.
Oh, see, I think Marcus Shum could have shut that door. He could have closed that door down and just didn't, and that allowed Classens to take the come in and just rob the second place away from Marcus Shum. Unfortunately, who's now down 2 after starting in first place there. Saying about that though, Claessens takes a big chunk of curb and a little bit of gravel just to get in. He's got to slow down, and that's why Markus Schum has gone back past there, Kev, and that is the, well, the thing we were talking about with off tracks. It's just not the
Strum got lucky there, unfortunately, but
yeah, they're just they're too inconsistent. One minute you get off track, another minute you get a slowdown. It's just making no sense, one or the other.
There's still time left. There's still time left for Claessens to. There's just something going on here.
I'm all paused. Hold on, we're on board. We're going. Oh, that's Markus Schum. I'm looking at the other side. I think this is where Claessens sent it down the inside. We have had a notification that Elias Stromer has had a incident. Here is Stromer, he's at the back. Don't forget he was involved with the Cordero Duarte battle. After Michael Pletil sent it in the pits. Oh, Stromer goes all the way round. Keep off the gas.
Too much.
That's allowed Polanco to get back. Oh, you ain't going to go forward there, sir. You're in a Lambo, not a moped. You haven't quite got that turn in. No, come back. No, come back. He's going to try it now. Oh. Come on, Elias. You've got this, bro. I've got faith in you, Elias Stromer. You can turn that car.
He was unlucky. He just put too much power in the spin.
There you go. That's Elias Stromer back on track. We shouldn't laugh. I'm sure he's probably sitting there kicking himself, putting too much power through that car. That has allowed Paul Taylor to get past Elias Stromer. He's now climbing all over the back of Hugo Miguel Pereira. Can Taylor get enough? Has he got enough fuel? Taylor's going to send it up the inside. He's going to send it up the inside. Pereira gave him room. Tighten it up, Paul. As they're heading down now, side by side. Taylor on the left in the pink BMW. Pereira from Team PIT gets in front of him at the moment as they're heading down into Schlossgold now. Taylor's looking at coming back on the inside. He's got to be coming back soon. He's losing time being behind Hugo Miguel Pereira as they're running down now into Roush, and I'm going to be heading through Roush momentarily down into Worth. Taylor's got to get this job done. Kev, there's no doubt about it, is there? He's got to get the job done.
Yeah, I feel it's been unlucky for him this evening, unfortunately, with the little clash with St. Tonnen. But he's managed to gain a couple of places, but if he needs to push on here and try and gain a couple of places and get in the points and keep within touching distance of...
here we go, Kevin. Pereira runs slightly deep. There's Polanco in the pits. There's going to be another one. Taylor on the left in the pink Beamer. Pereira there on the right. There's Taylor, got the job done. Can he tighten up enough to keep it on track and get a good run out of turn 1, going down into 2. That's Polanco coming out the pits behind him. Do we think, though, Taylor's got a pit again, though? Because he did stop with about 25 minutes. And he had he was a good 7 seconds slower than the people in front of him in the pit stops.
I'm not sure if he'll have to pit again or not, but that's one we're going to have to wait and see if he has to.
Right, so, Kev, I can't take that as a reason, mate. You're going to have to run down to the track and find out.
Run down?
Run down, find out what Taylor has got in the gas. What the information, mate. You got about 7 minutes, Kev, 7.5 minutes there. As we can see now, Claessens is all over the back of Markus Schum again as we're heading into that second pit stop window. And these guys should be coming in very shortly, I would have thought, unless they've done some mega fuel saving and managed to hold off on the second stop. But I don't think they're going to, I think they are going to need to pit. It's just a matter of time. They've got about 7 minutes remaining, and most people have only done one, apart from Ferrone, Taylor, Polanco, and Gomez. They are the only ones that have pitted twice, Kev. So, interesting 7 minutes to go, and is Izzo going to have to go in the pits? Are they all in? That's Claessens in anyway.
It's only Claessens of what's gone in.
It's only Claessens, yeah. It's only Claessens out of the front 3. So there goes Izzo. There goes Marcus Schum. And it's only Claessens that has gone into the pits at this moment in time, guys.
He might just get in front of him because they'll be battling against each other. He might just get lucky.
I don't think he will. I think Izzo's got too much of a gap to have to worry about Marcus Schum as he goes in for a little splash and dash, and that is him out. All the while, they leaders have gone round turn 2 and heading down into 3. So it was literally a splash and dash of 36.5 seconds for Justin Claessens there to top up and get out again. So let's see how this materializes now and see here with Marcus Schum, Alessandro Izzo. Are they going to go into the pits together and get out in front of Claessens? Claessens is currently in 4th, and he is battling behind a back marker coming down the back straight down into Schlossgold. So the leaders aren't too far in front, Kev. Not going to lie, but it's going to seem to be a little bit of a job that Claessens is going to have to do.
Yeah, like you said, they're not too far ahead, but the ones he just got to get his foot down and just take every corner cleanly. Oof. Strum just got into the pits and Izzo stayed out.
Izzo stayed out again. So we'll know where Claessens' pace is. Claessens is coming up into the second to last corner. Schum is not in the pit box yet. Schum is stopping now. Claessens is coming round the last corner. Schum is out. Oh, is he out? No, he went to the wrong box. Oh, Marcus Schum went to the wrong box. Stopped, and that's going to allow Claessens to get even closer. Here we go. Claessens on the right now. I think that's going to be job done. Yeah,
he's in front.
Yep.
In front.
Job done for Claessens. Oh, no. I believe that is Jorge Gomez there in front of Schum, which should make it straightforward for Schum to get past. Slight lift and a move out the way. That would have done, and then they could have made the overtake a little bit more cleaner. As we see Jorge Gomez head to the left-hand side of the track, and that allows Marcus Schum to come through. Now to resume battle commencing in the pits is Miguel Cordero. Pletil has jumped both of them. Amaro is in. Paul Taylor is going to be getting Amaro, but can he get Duarte and Cordero? He's got Duarte. I don't think he's got Cordero. Cordero, no, is off. But however, Pletil did keep in front of Miguel Cordero as he went into the pits. There, Paul Taylor has got the job done and is away in 8th place. Kev, Izzo's gone round again.
He's done some major fuel saving then.
That's 3 laps. Longer than Claessens, and the gap is only 20 seconds, and he seems to need a 35-second pit window. So is this going to be Izzo under attack from Claessens? But then again, as you say, the longer he goes, the less time he's going to have in the pits, Kev.
Yeah. We're just going to have to see if Claessens can take down some of that time. We don't know how it's going to go, but 3 laps. Has he got another lap extra in him?
Is it flashing? He can't have another lap, surely. Claessens is just coming down into turn 3. Izzo is just going on the exit out of Worth. Running on that run there. He goes left, then goes right, and is now running down into Schlossgold. We're expecting Izzo to peel off into the pits. And if he isn't, then wow, just wow.
No?
Nope.
All right.
So is he trying to get to the end, Kev, do you reckon?
He might be, or he might just be like he's going in second lap so it's obviously he's kind of coasting, so he might be just oh no, I'm not
He's
sure.
got to be trying to go to the end now, isn't he? He's only got what, a minute 50. Duarte has been off. I believe Duarte has been involved in an incident. Is now apparently coming up as a notification that he had crashed, unfortunately. But it doesn't look like Duarte did crash. He looked like he's quite happy. plodding along in 9th place there. So a timing tower having a little bit of a fib and telling me that Duarte has had a crash, but I didn't know he has it at the moment. But Izzo is on a 1:31.12. Klassen's on a 1:33.6. And the gap is, well, is around about 20 seconds. I don't know if Izzo's going to be able to do this. I've got to be honest. Either that or he's going to be very, very close to see if he saved enough fuel, Kev.
Yeah, he'll be very, very close, but I don't think he can catch Izzo at all.
Has he done enough fuel saving?
We're just going to have to wait and see. But if he has some great driving today from Izzo, without a shadow of a doubt, Klassen's brilliant driving and Stum, yeah, them three have been great today. Good driving from all three.
They've been in kind of a different area, haven't they, Shum, Izzo and Klassen's? And I think, you know, Izzo's gone round again. He's on the white flag. He's got 20 seconds. Is it mandatory that he's got to make 2, Wes? If we can get a message out to anyone, that would be ideal. And see, does Izzo have to make 2 stops? Does he have to make? Can we send a message to the race notes and see what they can tell us? Let's see if we can. Let's see if they can tell us here, because otherwise I think Izzo may looking at taking the victory, Kev, but depending on the after effect, if this has come back that he has got to make 2 stops, well then he's all done and dusted, isn't he? Because he can take the lead now by 19 seconds and take the victory. No, only 1. But 2 stops is a good idea. Well, Izzo has gone 1 stop and has managed to save enough fuel that he's now led the race by 19 seconds.
Quality driving.
And Izzo takes the victory. Done and dusted. 1 pit stop. Alexandro Izzo, blows up the car. Justin Klassen's in 2nd. Marcus Schum there is 3rd place here. Is Klassen's. Ivan Amaro has finished there. As you can see, he was the lap car behind Izzo. Klassen's takes 2nd place. Schum in 3rd. Van Den had a little bit of a quiet race, but he did a stellar job. Look at him. He's currently up in 4th place. Marcus Ferrone, trying to take a very faster exit there. Van Den in 4th. Ferrone in 5th as these guys cross the line now. There you go. Pletil stayed ahead of Cadero after being involved in the Cadero battle. I tell you what, the one man is not backing out. It's Paul Taylor behind him. He's all over the back of Cadero.
Yeah, he's got a push on.
He's there, isn't he? Look, he's there literally last lap.
Trying to gain that extra spot back.
Oh, he's just got to send it. He's just got to go for it. Oh, come on, Paul. I don't think Paul Taylor is going to get it. That is Michael Pletil crossing the line in 7th place. Cadera in, Pletil in 6th, Cadera in 7th, Taylor in 8th, Duarte in 9th. Palanco there in 10th place, and the last man across the circuit that we're waiting for is Eduardo Fava, who finishes in 11th. So there you go. That rounds out tonight's racing, and apparently the words from the stewards is 1 stop is optional. 2 stops. No, 1 stop is compulsory. 2 stops is optional. And Izzo did not want to do 2 stops. So therefore, he come out victorious. As you can see, Alexandro Izzo is your winner. Justin Klassen's in 2nd. Marcus Schum in 3rd. Sebastian Van Den in 4th. Marco Ferrone in 5th. Michael Pletil in 6th. Miguel Cordero in 7th. Paul Taylor recovered in 8th place. Diego Duarte in 9th, Manuel Palenco in 10th, Eduardo Fava in 11th, Ivan Amaro in 12th, Jorge Gomez 13th, Elias Stromer 14th, Hugo Pereira in 15th. Sainton did not finish the race in 16th. Neither did Ella Watt, neither did Mikado, rounding out your top 18 there, Kev.
Some good racing today. And for me, Platel was the driver of the day, being sandwiched in between them two BMWs and doing what he did, being able to get past them and then deal with them in the pits. Some great driving today.
Yeah, definitely Michael Platel for me as well. I think at the end of the day, he done an absolute stellar job and literally managed to stay ahead of the battling BMWs of Cadero. Duarte, who then got separated from Paul Taylor, who was obviously on the recovery after the very somewhat incident involving Thomas Sainton. And please don't set Kevin off again, because he'll just run away and he'll just start again, and then I'll have to run after him and try and calm him down if he tells us any more about Thomas Sainton and holy water. So there you go. So, Kev, that rounds out tonight's broadcast. The last one for me, young sir, through the Anti-Stall Racing League. What do you think of tonight? Epic, wasn't it?
Yeah, some good racing. Very enjoyable. Can't complain at all.
No.
Up front, great racing. At the back, in the middle, great racing. Yeah, some little bits and bats going on here. And obviously my Paul Taylor. But yeah, some great racing today.
Okay, no worries there. Thank you very much, Kev, for joining me this evening. Biggles, great race. GG, guys. Thanks, mate. Much love to you. I don't know if that's me or the drivers, Biggles, but as we always do on Anti-Stall Racing, I'm going to take that one on board and blow my own trumpet, Biggles. Anyway, there you go. Good work in the booth. Thanks, mate. Much love to you. So that rounds out tonight's broadcast, guys. Don't forget to join the wonderful Biggles on Monday for the Formula 1 and on Tuesday for the F3 and F4 from Monza. And don't forget to join Kev and Wes back next Friday for round 8 at Watkins Glen. But for now, guys, from me, Kev, and producer Wes, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.